Now we're going to talk about how to create folders and share them with your teacher. The first thing that you need to do is go to the red Create button and click on Folder. And when you do, you'll get this that comes up. Now there's a specific way that I have kids title their folders, and it will help your teacher if you do it exactly as I show you to, so that they're all the same. The first thing is you need to type your last name. Type your last name so that there's a capital letter there. Hit the space bar. Next, I want you to type the word hand, again with a capital letter, please. Then hit the space bar, type the word N, and finally, for my purposes today, I'm just going to type the word English. You guys are going to have whatever folders your teacher has decided. You could have math, you could have writing, you could have spelling. However your teacher decides to organize things, those are the folders that you're going to create. There's no limit on how many folders you can have in your Hutchdocs account. It's all how you want to organize things. So right now, this is how we're going to organize this. Any other folders that you create should be created in the exact same way. Should have your last name, should have hand, space, in, and then this should change. So this would be spelling, this would be social studies, this would be math. That's the only thing that changes. Everything else should be the same so that it alphabetizes, and your teacher should not have any confusion when they go to check your work. When you're finished, what you need to do is hit Create, and then you should see that folder, and you should see it right here. Okay? It alphabetizes right down here. Now you can see I have a lot of folders, and you just have a few, and I get that. Yours will increase as well. Okay, a couple of things we need to learn first. We need to learn how to right-click on a Mac. That's pretty important. And the way that we do that, I only know one way to teach you, okay? And it's kind of goofy, so just roll with it. The first thing I want you to do is find your left hand. How many of you had to look down and go like this? Okay, you know you did. You know you were the one. Okay, so once you found your left hand, what I want you to do is make a pointer finger with your left hand. Okay? Now, don't mock me. I know it's goofy. Just do it. Okay? Now, once you've made a pointer finger with your left hand, I want you to look down at your keyboard and I want you to find your control key. Everybody look down. Obviously, it's going to be on the left hand side because I wanted you to make a pointer finger with your left hand. Okay? So once you found the control key, I want you to kind of just set your finger next to the control key and let it hang out. They can become friends, your finger and the control key. Okay? Now with your right hand, what I want you to do is I want you to take it and I want you to move your arrow over your folder so that it turns into a hand, just like mine is, just like this. Here's what it looks like when it's not over my folder. Hello, did you see that, how that changed? And here's what it looks like when it is over my folder. So it looks like a hand. That's what yours should look like. Once you have it over your folder and it looks like a hand, I want you to take your pointer finger and hold down that control key and click on your mouse pad. And when you do that, you should see this window come up. How many of you were successful? I hope it's all of you. Okay? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to click away from that, and I want you to try it several more times until you get good at it. Now, one common mistake that I see from a lot of kids is they're clicking on the Option button instead of the Control button. Make sure that you've got the Control button clicked. That's the one you want to hold down with your left hand. And then you want to hover over your folder, hold the Control key down, and then click your mouse pad. And then you can let the Control key go. Okay? Now, once you've done that several times, I have a little activity I want you to do. You have about 45 seconds. Okay? Your teacher can keep the time for you. You have about 45 seconds, and what I want you to do is, I want you to change the color of your folders. Here's how you do that. Right up here, if I hover over Change Color, I'm not clicking anything, I'm just hovering. I can now change the color of my folder to whatever I want. So I changed my color to red. Then I come down here to the second one, and I right click again, and I can change the color of that folder. You have about 45 seconds to change the colors of your folders. Do that now, please. As you move up in your grades, it might really make some sense to have all of one grade one color. For instance, if you start with Hutchdocs in third grade, all of third grade can be yellow. All of fourth grade can be green. However you choose to be organized is completely up to you. If you're somebody who would rather have a rainbow of colors every single year, you go for it, whatever it is that you want to do. But at least that gave you some practice on how to right-click on your Mac, because now we're going to use that practice. Now it's time to share that folder with your teacher so that it truly becomes a hand-in folder. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. I want you to put your cursor over your folder till it turns into a hand, just like you see here. Take that left pointer finger, hold your control key down, and click again, just like we did before. And this time, I want you to click on Share. And when you go up to Share, you'll see this second little window pop out right here, okay? If you'll click on that second Share for me, you'll see a window that looks like this come up. Down here, you're going to see Invite People. Can you please click in that box so that your cursor's blinking for me? Okay, when you do that, it should say Can Edit right here. You want to make sure that anything you share with your teacher says Can Edit so that she or he can make sure they can grade your papers. If you don't leave it Can Edit, they can't do that. Now what I want you to do here is type the last name of your teacher right here. Hopefully your teachers put the spelling of their last name up on the board for you, or you already know how to spell it yourself. So, for instance, my last name is Reilly. So as I start typing my last name, I can see it right here, okay? And mine comes up in 2. Hutchdocs is the one that I would want mine to go to, so I would click on Amy Riley at Hutchdocs right here. So it would come up. I would leave it Can Edit, and I would click Share and Save. And then I would click Done. You need to do the same thing. When you're all finished, what you should see is you should see that your folder has changed so that a little person is on the inside of your folder. Mine's taking a little bit longer, and also I just shared my folder with myself. I wonder if I've confused it just a little bit. But you'll see a little person inside your folder, and that indicates that you just shared your folder with somebody. Don't put anything inside that folder that you don't want your teacher to grade for you, okay? Because that's now your hand-in folder. So for the next few minutes, if you've created multiple folders, I want you to go back through that process and share each of those folders with the teacher that teaches that subject. The way that you hand in an assignment is pretty simple, okay? If I click on Create and I click on Document, I want you to do the same thing for me. Okay, one of the really neat things is I don't ever have to save anything in Hutchdocs because it saves everything automatically. That's pretty awesome for me, because if the power goes out on my computer, my battery dies, or my computer goes on the fritz and it just dies on its own, I don't lose anything, which is great. The one thing I have to do every time, though, is title my document. Now, typically, my teacher's going to tell me what I want it to be titled, okay? And teachers, typically I would say they need to include their last name in the title, and the last name needs to come first. So for me, this is going to be Riley Practice. So why don't you put your last name and the word practice for the name of the document, and then click OK. Now that you've done that, what I want you to do is type one word that describes you. Now remember, don't put the word football, don't put the word basketball. Those aren't describing words, those are nouns. Put a word that describes you. Fun, athletic, goofy, silly, awesome. What word describes you? Once you have that word typed, put your hand in the air so your teacher knows that you're ready to go. The next thing that we need to do is close out of this assignment. We're all finished. We're imagining that this is a big assignment, we're all done with it, and we're ready to turn it in. So we need to close it first to get back to our main drive page. The way that we do that is we click on the 4 lines in the left-hand corner of the page, and that takes us back to our main drive page. Now remember, I said that it alphabetizes your folders first and then your assignments. And I called mine Riley something, Riley Practice. There it is, okay? Riley Practice. The way that you turn these in is you just simply drag and drop them into the folder that you created and shared with your teacher. So I'm going to turn this into my English folder, and you turn it in to the folder that your teacher asks you to turn it into. All you have to do is click and drag it into the folder. So on top of the folder, and let go, and it should disappear. I'm going to try that now. I can't see mine is a problem. Now what happens if I can't see it? I'll show you an extra thing that I can do. If I can't see it, like I can't scroll up, it won't let me scroll up to drag and drop mine. What I can do is click on More, and I can click on, where is it? Oh, there it is. Move to Riley hand in, move. Okay, and then it's moved it to, and I've handed it in. All right, you're not going to have that problem because you don't have so much in your account right now. I have so much because this is an account that I use every single day. So I have that problem. You won't have that problem. So hopefully you've been able to drag and drop your assignment into your hand-in folder, and lickety-split, you've turned in a paperless assignment, and your teacher will be cheering when they realize that it's just that easy to be able to do that in their classrooms. So today we learned how to create a folder. We all learned how to title our folder in a similar way. We learned how to share a folder. We learned how to create and turn in an assignment. And last but not least, we learned how to right-click. It's been a busy, busy day.